What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cardboard Cane, and it is, of course, the release of Twilight Masquerade. Temporal Forces came and went like a whirlwind, a highly competitive set, highly collectible set at the same time. I'm expecting the same from Twilight Masquerade, more on the competitive side, not so much on the collective side, depending on what you're into, because I haven't looked too much into the set. I like to leave things as much of a surprise as possible. Obviously, you're not going to be able to dodge all the leaks that come out, or I'm not going to be able to dodge them all. So there are a few that I've seen. I haven't seen all the alternate arts in this set, which is why I'm saying it's probably not going to be as big from a collective side. But then again, that is also coming into play of the 2D versions of the card that they leak out don't exactly look as good as they do in hand. So I could completely be wrong about the I think it's like all the Ogrepon ones and that kind of stuff in this set. They actually might look good. But in terms of competitive, I will be going through, as we're going along, if you are out there trying to get competitive cards or offload your competitive cards early, I will cover them as best as I can, just from memory, as we are cracking these packs. So let's get straight into it. We've got one booster box right here. This is for the first case. We're also going to be like kind of documenting what the hit spread will be. From early what's it called? From early findings from people who have already opened the set, it looks like it is still following the Temporal Forces way of doing things, where they've taken away the guaranteed alt art or SIR every single box. So it looks like we are well and truly in that age. So I would not expect, I would expect SIRs to be relatively high straight away, and more than likely holding depending on what it is. And we're getting into our first holos: Trevenant, Kadabra, and Makago EX. Alright, cool. So that's our first hit of the set. I'm also going to be forward thinking and actually start sleeving the cards that are going into my master set for the set straight into their sleeves. Dragon Shield Purple Classics, by the way. So yeah, from what I've heard, it's not a guaranteed SIR, so we are still going along, but I'm wondering whether or not they've actually lowered the amount of hits you get in a booster box, because if I remember properly, the hits that didn't I start with a Phantom last packet? Didn't I get a Slugma last packet? And a Swilt? Okay, it's repeated. The next one will be Kieran. Oh, no. Okay, changed it up. Alright, cool. Handheld Fan, Diplin. Oh, there's a Kieran. Vulpix, and a Heatran. And it looks very miscut. That photo looks actually pretty cool. They also said that the hit spread was a bit lower. So if I remember properly, the hit spread was about 13 to 14 per box. Whereas a close friend of mine has said that they really only got 10 after opening 2 boxes, which is not a good sign in terms of value for money when it comes to getting booster boxes. But that also means that the value of the cards pooled are a lot higher too. So, as I mentioned before, Temporal Forces was a highly competitive set. A lot of cards came out of that set that was sought after, and this is also one of them. This is something that you'd be wanting to make sure that you are putting aside, both reverse holos and non-holos, because you'll need these to use the Dragapult EX, which is, I think it's being considered for best deck and format, for those out there actually play competitive. I'm entry level, so I'm not like super pro, so don't expect me to know everything, but they're saying this should stand against Charizard or beat Charizard in most cases, which is a little bit worrying because I play Charizard, because it's easy enough for me to use. But yeah, these two sets seem as though they've introduced a lot of different decks. There's a lot more variety out there now. It's not so like there's 2 decks, and if you don't play these 2 decks, then you are not going to get very far. Thankfully. It's finally got a little bit of flavor. Unfortunately, the deck that I love to hate is still around. which is a good old Lost Box, and that unfortunately will not be leaving for quite some time because I believe this set kind of brings it back a little bit. Alright, so let's get into the next pack. So far, I believe these ones you're going to be wanting to keep these. I think it's safe to say that almost all trainers in here, like probably the majority of the trainers in this set, are going to be used. And there we go, there's our Dragapult EX. That's the first one for the Master Set. And obviously, this is going to be a variation of the ones that people want to be using in the Dragapult EX deck. So as you can see there, it's 2 energy, which is really easy to load up in today's format, in today's day and age of the TCG, and it hits for 200. So you can go from, I forgot what the original the stage 1 is called. I forgot what the stage 1 is called. There's Drakloak. Honestly, it's one of the Pokemon that I'm new to, and I kind of never really paid attention to. So once I come across it, then we'll know. But yeah, you can go up to it by going from stage 1 to stage 2 with the Drakloak into Dragapult, or you can just rare candy it on this if you're going second, and then you're attacking the next turn. So, and Palafin EX. I do believe Palafin EX, they said, is going to be usable in some way or form. I'm not too sure if it's going to be like a massively competitive deck, but as I said, the sets that are coming out nowadays are introducing a lot more flavor out there, which is great. So we've got 3 hits so far in this box. So the reason why I kind of want to go through relatively early on in this series of Twilight Masquerade, I'm not boxing or what I have, I've got 2 cases worth, is because the sooner... Okay, so these... I like to bring this up. This is one that you're going to want to keep aside, holo and non-holos. And Killer Watch Rule. So this one here, during your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage, yada yada yada. I'm pretty sure that there's another Killer Watch Rule. No, it's not Killer Watch Rule in this one. Is it Dartrix? I think it's Dartrix. So Dartrix is going to bring back the United Wings deck. And for those out there that know what I'm talking about, it's the... What set was it from? I don't think it was Obsidian. Then it wasn't Paradox. I think it was Paldea Evolved. It was like Wattrel, Murkrow, and Flamigo. And yeah, Dartrix kind of makes it viable again to be using the good old United Wings decks. That being said, though, Enhanced Hammer is one of those ones that you're going to be wanting to put aside. And the reason why I want to kind of nail these out early is that the quicker you're able to offload your competitive cards and that kind of stuff, the more you gain, especially if you're a collector. Especially if you're a collector wanting to kind of make back some grounds of what you've spent, so the buyer's remorse doesn't hit so hard. You'll find that a lot of the competitive players at your local card stores will be wanting a lot of your bulk. Because let's be honest, as competitive as collectors, we want one of each. We want one holo, we want one reverse holo, or we want one non-holo and then one reverse holo, and then the rest is kind of just junk for us. So, if you're able to turn these cards into something from nothing, then why not? So, Diplin, Poliwhirl, and there's our first Ogrepon. Now, I believe the Ogrepons are going to be usable. Not too certain yet because I haven't seen them in action yet. I haven't really been keeping up to date on the actual TCG live because it should be up and running like now. But the only way I can sort of say what's going to be usable, what's not usable, is just by paying attention to the Japanese tournaments. Some of the cards have different names and everything, but you can kind of figure out what's going to be used and what's not going to be not. There are some cards out there that you want to pay attention to, that you definitely want to be putting aside. Blood Ball, that's the first one. The big ones is, oh, nice. Then our first IR got Applin. That looks cool. That looks awesome. Wow, who drew this? Katsunari. Oh, that looks awesome. It's actually cut well and centered well. Put the Archon over there. Let's leave this one. So obviously we kind of want to, like, as we're going through these boxes, I don't want to run to too many doubles. And if I'm ever going to run to doubles, I want them to be like doubles of SIRs. The good ones. But my luck on the previous few sets hasn't been that great in terms of actually hitting the doubles of the big boys. Frogadier. Okay, so I'm pretty certain that the Greninja in this set as well is going to be pretty good. I'm not certain of which Frokies and which Frogadiers you'd need. I think I'm saying that. I'm saying Frogadier. So Frogadier, not Frigadier. What's wrong with me? I'm not too sure which ones you'd need, per se. Because I think Tatsugiri's one of the competitive cards you're going to be needing, I believe. So, track customers, once returned if it's an active spot, you may look at the top 6 of your cards. Put a sport card. Yep. Okay, so Tatsugiri's pretty good. Tatsugiri's pretty amazing. Inferno and that. I believe Infernape actually is pretty good in this set too. No, but like I think with Tempora Forces, the 2 cases we got, we did pretty well. We didn't get too many double ups, and any double ups that we got, a lot of them were relatively good competitive cards, and they kind of went out the door very quickly. And also to touch back on what I was saying with the Frogadier and the Frokie. Oh, that Morpeko, I love Morpeko. Morpeko is very much one of my favorite Pokemon. There's always something to do with food. Tinglu. It could be very much a case of you need an older set Frokie or Frogadier. That'll work better. For example, like Minccino. Because the Lugia decks nowadays are using Cinccino from Tempora Forces. And this is what I was going to say here. The Minccino from Brilliant Stars has Call for Family, which is obviously incredibly good if you get it out early and use it early. So I'm not too certain if Frokie or Frogadier has that. I'm pretty certain Frokie does. So it's best to probably go through a website that tracks the Japanese tournaments, and you'll very quickly... Oh, cool! We got our first full art trainer. We've got Kieran. But yeah, you'd be wanting to go through those sites, and then you can also figure out yourself what cards you should be putting aside, what cards you should be taking out of your bulk before you kind of discard them and potentially miss out on either making your money back or trading for cards that you need. Because let's be perfectly honest, competitive players don't really care too much about the collecting side. They just want to be playing and playing and playing. You're going to find that there's 2 types of competitive players. Ones that want to compete as cheap as possible, and ones that want to compete with bling. The ones that compete with bling, unfortunately, the cards that they would have gotten, they're lost to you now. They're a collector in their own right. They want to win by fiscal irresponsibility. I'm kind of the same way, so I can't really talk. My Charizard deck is all goldy and flashy and stuff like that, even though I'm not that great at the game. But most competitive players out there just want to kind of play the game as cheap as they can. A lot of them don't even open packs. The only packs that they open are the ones that they win at their local tournaments. So you'll definitely want to try and hit up your local game stores within the next week or 2. Preferably this weekend. Wherever in the world you are. It should be released by now. And it's more than likely a Friday, because Friday's always Pokemon Day when they release their new stuff. So depending on where you are in the world and where your local card game stores play and when they have their tournaments, which normally are on a weekend. And there's the Frokie. Oh, the Frokie's a Yukimori card. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so Flock. So search your deck for up to 2 Frokie and put them onto your bench. Okay, so you'll probably more than likely be using this one for this set. That's pretty cool. And we got Luxray EX. Yeah, so that's basically Call for Family. That's actually, yeah, that is Call for Family. which is really good. So if you're going second and you chucked out in the field and you had a water energy, you're golden. All right, so we're starting on the right hand side of the box now. As we all know, when I usually open these boxes with my wife Charlene, I'm always taking the right hand side. So at least this time I get to check which one is good or not. So the left hand side had 7. We haven't run into our SIR yet. So 7 hits on the left hand side, not too bad. Hopefully my friends oh whoa. But first, food. Touch an energy from your hand to this Pokemon. If you do, heal 60. Wow. Wow. Okay. Lana's Ada's trainer card you definitely want to be putting aside, I know that much. Bogus Mask. It's a good one. Chimeko and Frostlass. Yeah, I'm always on the right hand side, so it's like now I can see what's going on. So 7. Hopefully I can't really see it happening. I think my friend might have gotten unlucky. To get 10 hits in a box is very, very strange. That's very low. That's very, very low. So hopefully we've opened into a box so far that might have an SIR in it. And we've got Sinistcha. Is that a different evolution of Sinistea? Or is this... No, it evolves from Poltergeist. Poltergeist, I get it now. Not too certain if this is going to be in the competitive rotation, but you'll need one if you want master setting. So far, no doubles so far. And usually you won't really hit doubles in your first box or 2. It's when you start to get to box 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 and 10 where you're kind of like, oh, got that already. Who out there has the stuff that I need? Hassel, Girafarig, and Sinistcha. So there we go, Sinistcha. I'm actually starting to say the names of these properly now. Getting there. It feels like nowadays Pokemon names are very much like a tongue twister. Or just like a brain stop point. It's like, stop. Can you say the name of this Pokemon? No. No, I cannot. Ninetales and Tinglu. Alright, so I think we're 3 packs down on the right hand side. So far from what I've noticed, in terms of like the highly playable cards for the competitive side of things, haven't seen too many of them. I mean, seeing one of each is okay. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of like getting them, like offloading them to people who want them. Oh, okay, we've hit our... I believe this is an alt art. I believe this is an SIR. Okay, nothing behind it. Walking Wake. Let's just have a quick look at this. So, you know what? The alt arts actually look a lot better in person. Still not a massive fan of them. Not a massive fan. But considering... It's not too bad. So I don't think there's any whitening on the back. I think there's a little bit in the corner. But this is going into the master set. Considering that you do not get one every box, supposedly, this is a good start. Whereas if we remember back to my Temporal Forces one, I did not get one in the first box, and it was a very much like a ooh. And then in that case as well, my friend has also told me. By the way, the friend I'm talking about is Jen. She helps me out a lot. She's great when she wants to be. She's run into the fact of there's not 2 A-spec cards in a box as well. Ah, Sunflora. Nice. See, look. See, this is the part about myself that I like and sort of hate. See, I didn't even know this was in the set. I didn't look at the set. I didn't look at anything before. I've been dodging it. Unless it just pops up in my face in front of like a Facebook feed or something, I won't know until it lands on my doorstep. But that's awesome. So far 2 IRs, 1 SIR out of this box. Pretty awesome. But yeah, if we remember back to Temporal Forces, I do believe that set, majority of the time there was 2 A-Spec cards in there. Unless it was one of the double hit boxes where it had a gold and an SIR or 2 SIRs inside it. So I'm not too certain again if she got unlucky. Oh, and there we go, Dragapult. So this is going to be probably one of the more expensive base EX cards that you're going to get in the set. So if you want to hit doubles of the Terraform Pokemon, this is the guy you want to get. This is the dude. In terms of Australian dollars, I would safely assume that this guy will probably sell for like $25 each right now. If I remember, probably like the Iron Crown sold for that much, the Iron Hand sold for that much. Considering that this guy is going to be possibly best in deck or very, very competitive, they're going to be running 3 to 4 in a deck. So stocks of that will be very low amongst people, and they're going to want to get them. They'll want to get them fast because they want to be competitive fast. They want to start playing the deck faster. It'll obviously go down in price as time goes on, as more cards are cracked. But people are very impatient. I'm myself one of them. I love how these look. Honestly, I like the future cards. All these should be saved later on down the track. And Frogadier and Arcanine. Alright, so I think we're just past the halfway point on the right-hand side of the box. Which is always my favorite part of the box, and you know what? It had all the good stuff so far. Now if... Oh, sweet. Another enhanced hammer. So those will be very, 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 very good. Accompanying flute. Oh, that Clefairy looks cute. Almost looks like a Cleffa. Almost. I just forgot what I was saying. Halfway through the box, just past halfway. Those enhanced hammers are going to be very important. And people are going to be like, if you're running these, if you're running a deck that's running these, then you're going to be running 3 to 4. So you can already see, like, at the last set that got released, which was Temporal, 2 days afterwards there was a Collecticon. So I was fortunate enough to put my binder on Jen's, because I helped Jen run a table at Collecticon. She allowed me to put my binder up there and my competitive cards that I sought out, and they just got snapped up. Because there's not so much stock of these at the time, and just in general, because a competitive player doesn't like switching cards from deck to deck, right? So if a deck uses 3 Buddy Poffins, and another deck uses 3, and another deck uses 3, you're going to know that they're going to be buying as much as they possibly can. So, that being said, the more of these that you can put aside, the better. I will try my very best to actually put like a definitive list, because I'm more than likely not going to figure them all out in this line here. Just because, like, off the top of my head, I'm going to forget them. But as we go along, I'll remember them all, and I'll chuck them in the description below, just so you can kind of back-reference them. Because of this set, it's also going to make cards from other sets be sought after too. Because they're going to be needed to make these decks work. Palafin Full Art. Nice. Nice. So far, 1 for 1 on this box. This box has been pretty good. Pretty good. Loving it. And I think I finally got my camera worked out, by the way, so it shouldn't be as blurry as the other videos usually are. I'm also wearing my glasses. But yeah, in terms of like these cards, like there's a lot of them there. I'll make sure I put a full list. So I believe, from the top of my head, cards from other sets that are not going to be used is like Xatu from, I think Xatu from Temporal or Xatu from Paradox Rift, and Natu from Paldean Fates. You'll need them. So if you unearth them, you'll find people that will want like 3 to 4 of those. It's easy as that. And because they're so sought after right now, they're gonna go up in price because they're just gonna be everyone's stock bulk is gonna be sitting inside a competitive player's basically their playsets now. So, and there we go, Iron Thorns EX. I'm pretty certain this is going to be used in the Turbo Hands deck. I'm not too sure. I do know that there's meant to be... I'm pretty certain it's this one too. Because you can just slap it down. As long as this card is in the active spot, Pokemon rule box, both yours and your opponents have no abilities except for future Pokemon. Yeah, okay. So I'm pretty certain this is going to be used. Move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a Turbo Hand. That you'd like run one, maybe? Because I think Miraidon comes back as well because of a certain few cards in this set. So the Miraidon from the one that allows you to search your deck for 2 energy, like electric Pokemon. I can't remember which Miraidon it is because there's so many reiterations of Miraidon at this point. And there's like 2 Miraidons in a set and then 2 promo Miraidons. The one that has Tandem Unit, that's the one. It has Tandem Unit as the ability. Ah, I remember. And there we go. Dreepy is the basic that I was talking about for the Dragapult. So Dreepy into Drakloak into Dragapult. But if you have Dreepy, you can rare candy and skip the Drakloak. But the Drakloak is good for its ability, which is why you also still ought to be running Drakloak. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Lucha, Helios, and Ogrepon. Alright, we're down to our last 2 packets. And so far we've got 7, 10, 13. Okay, so I think, my friend, as usual... I'm gonna stare at you, Jen. Because... she's so unlucky when it comes to these things. I don't get it. She hit the 10, the average 10 hits, which is strange. I feel like there's still one more hit hiding in here. I feel like there's still one more. Lucky last one, art rare in here, or IR, illustration rare. Or actually, sorry, no, scratch that. Where's my ace spec? Is this it? Is this my ace spec? Is this my ace spec card? There we go. Wow. I'm pretty sure that's like a scoop up net. But better. Oh, there we go. Double called it. Oh wow, that caught me off guard there. I knew that there was an A spec. Well, I mean, no, I didn't actually. I was kind of worried. I believe that Scoop Up Cyclone is going to be one of the bigger cards in this set for the A-Spec. The other big one that you want to get, that you want to be getting, and getting multiples of, is the Unfair Stamp. You know, Unfair Stamp is going to be, unfortunately, reviving my favorite deck that I was talking about, which is the Lost Box one. But it is what it is. And this Torkoal looks nice. Look at that. That's so cool. Okay. Not a bad box, to be honest. Great way to start off the set. So in terms of what we got the Torkoal IR. We got one Ace Spec card in this box. We got the base EX Iron Thorns. One Full Art Palafin. Dragapult EX. Our secondary IR, which was Sunflora. We actually hit the SIR in the first box, which is amazing. Which is the Wellspring Mask Ogrepon. We got a Sinistchar EX. A Luxray EX. A Kirin Full Art Trainer. An Applin IR, which is one of our 3. We got the Cornerstone Mask Ogrepon. Palafin EX. And another full art Dragapult EX. And a Mekago. So we didn't double up at all, which is pretty great. So it looks like it's still following the same sort of hit spread formula that Temporal did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this might just be like a good box. This one might just be a good box. I don't think that they're obviously not going to all be like this. I'm unsure as to whether or not you're going to get 2 A specs in a box that doesn't have an alt art. And if you have an alt art, then you'll probably only get 1 A spec. We need more sample sizing, obviously. But everything also kind of just lines up with how it usually is. So like you get the 7 EXs, but out of the 7 it should be 3 Terras, right? Yeah, okay, there we go. So it's the usual 3 Terras, 4 base EXs, and 3 full arts, and there could be a combination of Pokemon or trainers. So, not a bad start to the set. Like I said before, I'll leave a list of the competitive cards that I think you should take out of the set and some of the previous sets down below in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are enjoying Twilight Masquerade. You take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one.